Hello everyone, welcome to Couch Talk with me, John Viking. I want to apologize for a few things. One, that the lighting and setting is bad. I'm new to this, like I said, and I'm currently trying to find out where best to shoot this. I'm currently in my gaming area, and that also leads me to my next reason to apologize is I don't really have a microphone that I can plug into my camera, so the audio sucks, and I apologize so much for that. I'm going to try and do maybe one of these videos a week. It's just going to be me discussing topics that fans have told me to talk about. Like, you can leave a comment in the video and say what topic you want me to talk about next week. Or if you follow me on Facebook or Twitter at Lord John Viking is my Twitter, you can send me discussions there. So today I'm going to bring up the first topic, and it is from my very good friend Anne Sharpe, who wants me to talk about the new Star Wars movie and more of my ideas about the book I'm going to write. So, I'll get to the book thing later. So, Star Wars Episode VII, The Force Awakens, I'm going to go ahead and say this is a spoiler video, so if you have not seen the movie, please do not watch the rest of this video starting. Okay, so Han Solo dies. That hurt a lot in a good way, and I shouldn't really say good way. It was emotionally draining, especially the second time watching it. I found myself crying a lot more than I was the first time because I was with my parents and I knew it was coming up, and my heart was racing, and I was like, "Oh no, it's gonna happen again! Not again! Not again!" And then it happened, and it was heartbreaking. So there are a few things I'd like to discuss about Star Wars The Force Awakens. First things first. Rey. So as you know, if you've seen the movie, which you probably have since you're still watching this video, Rey is a new character that is in the movie. She is I guess she would be a scavenger junker who lives on the planet Jakku, a desert planet. And turns out that she is a Jedi. Well, I shouldn't say Jedi, because Jedi are the ones that follow the path of light. She is Force sensitive. She has not been trained as a Jedi yet. So, we don't know where that's going to go. I believe, out of all the theories that are out there, one of them that I most support is that Rey is the daughter of Luke Skywalker. And the evidence behind that is that if you have not kept up with the story of the Old Republic, and I highly recommend that you do, if you don't know what the Old Republic is, I recommend playing. You can get this on Steam for like $10 total, I think. Maybe $10 each. I think if it's on a sale, it's $10, $5 for each game. Get Knights of the Old Republic and Knights of the Old Republic 2. Also, read the books. Star Wars Old Republic Revan is one of my favorite Star Wars books. Because Old Republic, the era of Old Republic is one of my favorite series, one of my favorite eras in the Star Wars universe. It deals a lot with where the Jedi and Sith were before the fall of the Republic and the rise of the Empire with Darth Sidious. It also explains why there's only 2 Sith in the universe at a time. Well, I wouldn't really say 2 Sith in the universe. There's only a Master and an Apprentice. It explains, it gives more detail about the Force, and it also explains like where everything came from, pretty much. Darth Revan he was a Sith Lord. No, sorry, I'm going to backtrack that. He was a Jedi who thought that the Jedi were sitting on their asses too much instead of doing things to stop people from suffering. So he led a campaign against the Mandalorians, and he fell to the dark side and became a Sith Lord. His apprentice, Darth Malak, betrayed him, and he had his memory wiped by the Jedi. Spoiler. And you know what? If you haven't played Knights of the Old Republic, I'm going to stop right there with that plotline. But let's just say that he was a Sith. He was a Jedi who became a Sith, He was a Sith that became a Jedi, and then became... No. Sorry. He's a Jedi who became a Sith, and then became a Jedi, and then he's sort of now in between. He's sort of that gray area. A lot of people like to claim him to be a gray Jedi. I honestly believe he is just a Jedi now. But he went through both paths, the light and the dark side. Anyway, so as I said, the Force, you find out in the Force pretty much in that era that the Force can manipulate memory. And so I believe that Luke Skywalker, after Kylo Ren, who has been Solo, Han Solo's son, after Kylo Ren destroyed the Jedi Temple and killed all of Luke Skywalker's students, he fled to Jakku to hide Rey there and wiped her memory. And so that she would no longer know who he was, and no longer know about the Jedi, and no longer know about the Force in general. Not how to use it, until she was pretty much ready. And a lot of people like to counter that with the fact that the First Order are heading to Jakku to find what I believe is the cult of the Jedi, the people that still believe in the Jedi and they sort of worship them in a way. The old guy at the beginning, basically, is the leader of one of those. And he's there with the map that the Resistance is trying to get in order to find Luke Skywalker. And so a lot of people are like, well, if Luke sent Rey to Jakku, then why the hell are they having the Resistance people there? Because then the First Order will find them and they'll find Rey. And my counter to that counter is, obviously, the old man at the beginning of the movie was supposed to be, I feel like he was supposed to be the Ben Kenobi to Rey. He was supposed to find Rey when either he or someone told him that it was time for her to begin training. And so he was supposed to be there for Rey and train her in the ways of the Force, tell her the truth about her father and the Jedi Academy, and basically make her into a Jedi like Ben Kenobi did with Luke Skywalker. But of course that changed when Kylo Ren killed him. And so Rey won't know pretty much until hopefully next movie. Another thing that people like to say is that, well, if Rey lost her memory, how does she know about Luke Skywalker and the Jedi myth? Because in the movie she says, Luke Skywalker, I thought he was only a myth. My counter to that as well is that because Luke Skywalker is a big figure in the rebellion that was only 60 years ago, I think. Stories and legends go around the galaxy, and so it would be no surprise if people on Jakku knew who Luke Skywalker was and was telling oh, here's the story of Luke Skywalker, how he blew up the Death Star and saved the galaxy. So it would be no surprise that Rey would find out about Luke Skywalker in general. So I honestly believe, and I could be totally wrong, could be totally right, partially wrong, partially right, that Rey is Luke Skywalker's daughter. Because the evidence is there. But it could be totally different. We'll find out next episode. A disappointment discussion I want to talk about is probably the biggest thing I was disappointed about that movie is Captain Phasma. Because she was, the way I saw it, she was going to be the next Boba Fett. And I know Boba Fett wasn't in the original trilogy all that much, and it's sort of strange on how his popularity became, because he's one of my favorite characters. He's next to Darth Vader, pretty much to me. Darth Vader is my number one Star Wars character, and Boba Fett is the complete badass that I enjoy watching on screen, and I root for him, and he's awesome. I can't explain why he's awesome. His armor, but he dies like a wimp at the end of episode 6. But he's not dead, and he's not dead. He comes back. He escaped. Yes, he did. He escaped 3 times actually. If you read the books. So John, the books aren't canon anymore. Disney made sure of that. They're canon to me. They are canon. There's some stories that I don't consider canon. There's a sidetrack. There is a book I highly recommend if you're a fan of zombies, if you're a fan of Star Wars, if you're a fan of Han and Chewie, read Star Wars Death Troopers. Ignore the reviews. Ignore the review. You are your best reviewer. Read Star Wars Death Troopers. It's a fast-paced book. It is creepy. It is scary. And I don't believe it's canon because, I mean, if it was canon, I'm pretty sure Han Solo would talk about this thing to everybody. I mean, he survived a zombie apocalypse on an Imperial Star Destroyer. I'm pretty sure he would be like, "Oh, Leia, you'll never believe what happened to me. I'm not going to be able to talk about anything else for the rest of my life." Because if it was canon, I'm pretty sure, like in, well, of course, Disney made everything non-canon now. But, like, in Episode 7, he'd be like, "Hey, Chewie, remember that time we were on that Star Destroyer and fighting all those zombies? Oh, man, this is a piece of cake compared to that." Okay, it's a zombie story. And it has a sequel. No, it has a prequel called Red Harvest, which I'm going to read soon. And, but yeah, give it a shot. But back to my original topic, Captain Phasma. She was supposed to be the new Boba Fett. And she was going to be this big, badass character who was going to be like, I don't know, like a little, I would consider, yeah, the Boba Fett, pretty much. The badass character that is awesome because they are. They're awesome in every way. They're awesome. They're intimidating on the battlefield. They know how to kill people. The Boba Fett, pretty much. And, she only got like a few lines, and then it's just sort of gone. And she is confirmed to be in Episode 8, which is good. I hope they explain how she escaped the trash compactor. Because if they did actually throw her in there, then like she's a badass, so obviously she's going to get out of there. But I hope they explain all that in Episode 8. So yeah, I think that was the most disappointing thing, was Captain Phasma being hyped up a lot and then completely non-existent, pretty much. Another thing I'm going to talk about is Supreme Leader Snoke, the apparent Sith Lord who is training Kylo Ren in the ways of the dark side. A lot of people like to think that he is Darth Plagueis, and I'm going to say two things, and I'm going to do a lot of sidetracking probably, but I'm going to say two things about that. One, I believe that is complete and utter nonsense. I don't mean to bash on your theory about it, if you believe that theory, but the reason I don't believe it is because I know it's considered non-canon. Yes, Disney, we know. You don't like the books. You want to stay with the movies. But there's just so much lore in the books that it helps flesh out the Star Wars universe. And Darth Plagueis, there's a book that I'm almost finished with, and it explains how Sidious came to being, how Darth Plagueis taught him and stuff. And it's a really fascinating book. It's sort of slow paced because there's a lot of political stuff in there. But Darth Plagueis is a Mun. If I can't really type it out for y'all to, it's M-U-U-N. And a Mun is, if you watch episode 2 and 3 of the prequels, a Mun is basically the banking clan guys with the big, huge heads. Not huge wide ways, huge tall ways. And the banking clan will sign your treaty. Something like that. You can see them in the Battle of Geonosis. When they're about to escape. Anyway, the gray skin, slender, tall heads. Okay. If you watch episode 7, which I still hope you have, because, like I said, spoiler review, Darth Snoke does not have pretty much... He has the slender body, but he does not have the cranium of a Mun. And unless he's got some deformity that kept him from having that, I don't believe that it is. Because, like I said, there's so many books in the expanded universe that just flesh out so much lore into the Star Wars universe that makes it even more interesting, that makes me love it so much, and I keep it canon to me. I don't care what Disney says, honestly, because, and I'm not Disney, so who gives a crap what I say? But Darth Plagueis is canon to me. And also, it's because the fact that Darth Sidious is not an idiot. Alright, he ruled a galaxy. He manipulated 2 Jedi. Okay? He manipulated Count Dooku, basically, into falling to the dark side. And he is a very influential man. Okay? He's not easily strayed from what he's going for. So he, being manipulated by Sidious to fall from the Jedi Council and the Jedi Order in general, is a pretty big feat. You also have, Anakin Skywalker, and yeah, he's a little more easily manipulated, but I think the biggest evidence of his intelligence is that he's able to rule the galaxy as Darth Sidious and Senator Palpatine. He's able to live double lives without anyone noticing, pretty much. And he's been taught a lot of the ways of the Sith. He's read up on the Sith. He's read their history, their lore, their sorcery. So he's not going to overlook something like a Sith Lord like Plagueis playing dead. If you look in the behind the scenes, Darth Plagueis, I think it's the scene in Episode 3 where Anakin and Palpatine are walking from his senatorial room into the hallway right before Sidious reveals to Anakin that he's a Sith Lord, pretty much. He knows the way to the dark side. If you look, there's 2 red vases on the side of the doors. And on the behind the scenes, they indicate that Plagueis' body and remains are stuffed into one of those vases. And so, I highly doubt Sidious is stupid enough to... I don't think he's stupid at all. I mean, he's lived double lives. He's tricked the entire Jedi Order. People like Master Yoda doesn't even know he's a Sith Lord until the last minute. Of course, they have their suspicions, and Count Dooku blatantly says in Attack of the Clones that the Senate is ruled by a Sith Lord, Darth Sidious, and no one believes him. And too late, too little, too late. Darth Sidious is actually there. But like people like Master Yoda, who's one of the most intelligent Jedi of all time, doesn't even know this guy is a Sith Lord. And I think that proves that he is smart enough to get away with stuff. And he would not be tricked by Plagueis to believing that his master's dead, even after he thought he killed him. I'm pretty sure he would check to make sure. So, I do not believe that Darth Snoke is Plagueis. If he has to be a previous Star Wars character, I either hope he is Darth Vidiot. I think I'm pronouncing that right. He is the non-canon Sith Emperor of the Old Republic. My evidence for him being the Darth Snoke is because he has the power to consume worlds, basically. He is not technically, they have not confirmed him dead. They say he goes missing and believed dead, but they have not confirmed that he's dead. He has lived for a long time. He has seen rise and falls of empires before him. So I think it's more accurate to say that he is Vidiot than Plagueis. But honestly, I don't know. Honestly, my honest opinion is that I really hope that Darth Snoke is Darth Snoke. That's my honest opinion. When Andy Serkis was asked about this, he said they actually asked him, is Darth Snoke Darth Vader, or is Darth Snoke Darth Plagueis? Is Darth Snoke a clone of Emperor Palpatine? And Andy Serkis says Darth Snoke is just Darth Snoke. And I really hope that's true, because as much as people would like to say, oh, he's Darth Sidious's clone. Like, when we got Sidious, we didn't know anything about him. He was just Darth Sidious. He was just this old guy who's like, yeah, I'm limited power. He didn't say that in the original trilogy. That was in Revenge of the Sith. But he was just like, oh, I'm afraid the shield generator will be quite operational when your friend arrives. He was just that guy. We didn't know who he was. We didn't see him before. He was just this old dude in a black robe that had unlimited power. So I hope that is Snoke. I hope he's this original character that we haven't seen before, and they just flesh him out as he goes along. We find out who he was, where he's from, like, where did he come from? Why is he in the dark side? Has he always been in the dark side? Like, what's his deal? So, yeah, Snoke is played as Snow. I hope he's an original character. Let's see, is there anything else I want to talk about? Force Awakens. Oh yeah, there is. Honest opinion, I love Force Awakens. I think it's better the second time to see it because I got a more emotional attachment during that. Because Force Awakens is honestly probably my second or third favorite Star Wars movie. My first is Empire Strikes Back, and nothing will take that away because Empire Strikes Back is the best. If I had to rank them, I would say it would go Empire Strikes Back, Force Awakens, what's it called? Return of the Jedi, A New Hope, Revenge of the Sith, Attack of the Clones, Phantom Menace. And so yeah. One thing I did want to say about Force Awakens is that I feel fans who believe that it's too close to A New Hope need to look at how the fan base was several years ago. Because I saw clear copy paste A New Hope in there. Like, you have the Star Killer base. They built a Death Star. They've got the plans for the Death Star. They have to get the droid with the plans to the rebel base. And because you have someone getting the droid with the plans to the rebel base. You have the Star Killer base, which has a opening to shoot torpedoes into. Well, they sort of fly into it and then shoot torpedoes. Then you have the Star Killer base in the First Order finding the Resistance base to destroy it, and it's that scene right before, like, they're going to destroy the Star Killer base right as the Star Killer base is preparing to fire upon the Rebel base, Resistance base. I keep wanting to say Rebels because that's technically what they are. I don't know why they call them Resistance now. I prefer Rebels. I guess it's since the Rebels sort of disbanded when the New Republic came up, so I guess they call them Resistance now. Well, yeah, that makes sense. Sidetrack, because the First Order doesn't really... I don't think the First Order rules the galaxy then. I think it's the Republic. Yeah, because that's why the First Order is trying to destroy the Republic so they can have control. So yeah, the Resistance is... Yeah, that makes more sense. Sorry, take that back. It makes more sense now. As I was saying, there's a lot of elements of New Hope in Force Awakens. And I believe that it works because it not only pulls people who have watched the Star Wars before back into the movies and gives them these new characters, new locations, and this story that they love. It's also to introduce new people, a new generation of fans into it, so they can sort of watch these and be like, oh, it's able to introduce this new generation into it and not get them confused, really. They may have to go watch the originals again, but like, I think you can watch Episode 7 and be semi-fine. Like, you probably just need to watch the originals to get most of what happened beforehand. But the reason I say that fans need to look back at previous years if they complain that it's too much like A New Hope is because, and I saw this in another review, and it really stuck with me, so I'm going to sort of use the same wording they use, is because when we got the original trilogy, people were fanatic about it. Like, I was fanatic about it. Like, oh my god, I love this so much. When we got the prequels, and I enjoyed the prequels, so I'm not in part of this crowd, many people were like, ugh, the prequels suck, and it's nothing like the original trilogy. And when we get The Force Awakens, they're like, oh, it's too much like the New Hope. It's too much like the original trilogy. It's like, make up your mind. Do you not want it like the originals, or do you want it like the originals? Because the prequels were nothing like the originals. And yet you all complained that it was nothing like the originals. And now that we get a movie that's like the originals, You're complaining that it's too much like the originals. And I understand that there were a lot of similarities to the New Hope and all that, but I just explained, like, it helps introduce new generations into it. So, yeah, like, Force Awakens, fantastic movie. Go see it. See it several times. It was so great to see Harrison Ford and Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher and all those guys back again, and the new characters, and the badass Rey as a Jedi. That was so awesome. I can't wait to see Rey's training into a Jedi, or maybe she falls to the dark side. Maybe there's a twist. Maybe there's a twist where Kylo Ren redeems himself to the light side, and Darth Snoke does something to Rey in the next movie or ninth movie where she falls to the dark side. And there's a complete twist where it's now Ben Solo versus Darth Rey or something. That'd be cool, I guess. All I know is that in Episode 8, I want to see First Order AT-AT walkers. Those are my favorite vehicle of all time. I want to see their revamped versions of AT-ATs. I think that'd be so cool. Before I go on with the end of the video, I want to say a quick thing regarding Star Wars. The Han Solo movie, I've seen the actor lineup. I'm sort of disappointed. I don't know if I'll see the Han Solo movie because having a Han Solo that isn't Harrison Ford is like having Wolverine that isn't Hugh Jackman, having Tony Stark who isn't Robert Downey Jr., or having, I don't know, there's something else. It's like having a peanut butter and jelly sandwich without the peanut butter, I guess. It's like making peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but putting grape jelly and, I don't know, Nutella on it instead of peanut butter, and still calling it a PB&J, but it's Nutella chocolate and grape jelly, like a bastardization of it, I guess. So yes, sorry for the awkward glances to the side. It sort of feels awkward staring right into the camera because I'm just staring at it, and it's sort of awkward. And again, sorry for the lighting. Quick note: I am writing a fantasy book. This was another part of Anne's request for me to talk about. I'm going to do it short because I'm only on chapter 2 of it, so it's not going to be released anytime soon. And I'm a lazy, stupid. I'm a lazy person. I like to say I'm the young George R. Martin. I like to ease my way into it. I don't like to set deadlines of it, and I like to take my time with it. I'm not the best writer. My writing workshops in college have pointed this out to me. I'm not the strongest writer. I'm still trying to improve, but like taking different workshop courses in English, like different professors, you learn one thing and the other professor says that's totally wrong, and so it sort of feels like you're not going anywhere. But I am working on it. I got the first chapter done and I'm very proud of myself, at least. So I don't know how long I'm going to make it. The plotline is basically this, and this is probably scary as a writer because I haven't really defined the plotline exactly. The plotline is basically, I have a king, and you're probably going to think this is completely cliche, and I'm sorry, but you have a king who is a dragon. His name is King Targaryen. His name's King Targaryen. Sorry, I'm stuttering. King Targaryen, and he rules over this world called Illuvios. And in Illuvios you have dwarves, men, wirewolves, not werewolves, wirewolves, so with a Y, not an E. You have blood mages, you have elves, and I think that's all I'm really having so far. I may put more as the story progresses. But basically what it is King Targaryen is sort of paranoid. He believes that because he's been ruling the kingdom of Illuvios since the old gods created the entire world. When they elected him the king of Illuvios, and they gave him sons and daughters, and they allowed him to rule over the humans, elves, and dwarves, and blood mages, and all the other creatures. And he's a little paranoid because he has that Oedipus complex in a way. Like, he believes that the mortal races are going to want to get a new king since he's been there for so long. So he has made a pact to give the blood mages eternal power. And basically what the blood mages are this exiled cult. Exiled cult that basically they do horrendous experiments on people. They use forbidden magics, and he makes a pact with them to give them as much power as they want, so long as they exterminate all the other races. And it's sort of easy for them because the way I have it set up is that the dwarves are I base the dwarves off the city in the Bible called Sodom and Gomorrah. They are very sinful people. They murder each other. They have sex with each other. They steal from each other. They do all this stuff that's horrendous, and they hate all the other. They pretty much hate all the other races. They only have the love for their own wealth, pretty much, and they live. Yeah, so they live in their own kingdom. The humans, they're pretty much like any human in any fantasy novel are. They have their own little kingdom. In a way, it's called Ardania. It's in the center of Veluvios. It's made out of gold and other material. I haven't really fleshed it out yet. Like I said, I've worked on the first chapter. That's mainly about the elves. The elves I like to sort of twist a little bit because in a lot of fantasy novels, elves are these pure beings who work to help all the races of man and help restore the world to the way it was and protect nature. The elves in this, I sort of wanted to go a different path. They are very hunter creatures. And when I say hunter creatures, they love to hunt things. And it doesn't matter what they're hunting. They have, in chapter 1, one of their, I don't really want to give spoilers or wait for it, but they're hunting a sentient being that can live, breathe, think, and feel emotion. And they're hunting it for sport. They're not hunting it for like food. It's a little game they have like every lunar moon. They have this tournament where the huntresses and hunters go out in different parties, and whoever kills, they allow the huntress, the high huntress, who's the chieftain of the hunters. They allow her the first shot towards the prey, and then it's like full game. And they just kill for no reason. They just want to kill things for sport and for the pleasure of it. And they're very territorial. Their main enemy is the wirewolves. The wirewolves are basically they're another cult of humans that have decided to live in more natural environments, and they worship the wolf god, and they were it depends on who you are. They're blessed or cursed with the wolf god's power, and they are turned into these basically werewolf versions, and they hunt flesh and stuff, and they like to hunt the elves. And so there's a constant struggle between elves and wirewolves. And that's pretty much what I have so far with the book. Like I said, it's a work in progress. I'm still editing and revising and scrapping ideas and making new ideas, because I've been told I'm very cliche, and I'm trying to stop that. But I mean, I'm very lenient on what cliche is, because every story's been done. So yeah, I'm still working on a title for it, because I learned that it's best to do a title once you finish a book or a short story. So right now it's called Tales of Luvios, and I'll let you all with more information as more things come up with it. I haven't worked on any right now because I'm doing my last semester of college, and so I'm planning to do a lot more of it this summer, and I'll give you all more details. So thank you all so much. Thank you, my good friend Anne Sharpe, for giving me my first discussion topic for this video. Please rate, subscribe, and let me know what I can change, add, and be sure to check out my Let's Play video game videos on my channel. And thank you all for watching.